If you build it, they will come.
Yes, dude.
If you build it, they will come. That was the assumption that Oklahoma City began their time with international sports, or I'm sorry, national sports, with that one mentality, like the Field of Dreams. And now, shout out to Mayor David Holt, who, by the way, I just want to invite on our show anytime he feels like it.
Oh
We've
man,
been
yeah, for
tracking what
sure.
you've been working on, Mayor, and we're really proud of it. He gets the vibe. He understands the urgency of the moment. And in December, the Oklahoma City
Mm.
residents are gonna have a chance to vote for something really significant, Dave.
Yeah, dude. And this is again why I get so just amped up. And we joke around. When I said Jay made some comments on our last episode, Mark said Jay who, and I was like, the asshole of our existence. And Mark's like, oh yeah, yeah,
I love
we
Jay.
love you, Jay. Like that's I think it's great what you put out there consistently, and what you put out there yesterday really got me going, man. Or early this morning. Um, you put out there some really great information and facts about what other teams have been paying for the new stadium. If you guys get time, go ahead and go over to Jay's comments in our last episode and read them because they're just right on the money. He talks about and challenging why this is happening because the owners are only putting in $50 million out of the 900. But he's like, I'm voting for this to happen because if we don't get it in Oklahoma City, the impact will be far greater. And which got me and Mark talking. And it's just like, what truly is the impact of an Oklahoma City Thunder team for the city? And that's where we want to go at. This is where we want to understand is like, if we can understand the financial impact, then we understand that this is worth it for the Oklahoma City Thunder fans. This is worth it for the people of Oklahoma to have the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it is worth it to vote yes in December for Oklahoma City Thunder to stay in Oklahoma until 2050.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's what we all want. We don't have to even try to remember some of the really, really great memories we've already had along the way. Incredible basketball, record-setting basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and the number of NBA top 75 players that have put on
Mm-hmm.
OKC on their shirt
Right,
is
dude.
really astounding for such a short history. So the idea of 25 more years after we've had such a short time already is pretty exciting. But obviously, 25 years also makes me think like a couple of things. First of all, $900 million isn't a lot for an arena. In fact, by the time that we move into it in 2030, it probably be outdated.
Yeah.
I know that seems kind of weird, but the new arenas that other teams are going to be building are going to be like $2.5 billion arenas.
Sure.
So we're
Big
still with a,
cities. Sure.
right. We're still with a modest size in the arena, which is fair. And one thing I like about that is there's an expectation of maybe we can maintain some of that home court advantage because when you go giant arenas, it can be hard to get a really, really intense, like loud city environment.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful for that. But in the end, let's face it, in 2050, we're going to be right back here again. And the city's going to need a brand new arena because at that point, arenas will be costing $5 billion and we'll be sitting here with a $900 million one.
Yeah, and then that's where we've grown as a city, hopefully enough where we can afford to have that $5 billion. And you think of 25 years, honestly, like I will be happy as shit if I am alive in 2050. So this is more for my kids and my grandkids. Don't do drugs, kids. Um, anyways, we talked about a little bit about the impact economically and all that stuff, which is great. But to me, it's a city pride. I technically me and my family are still Oklahoma City or Oklahoma residents. I hold that in great pride being part of a military family. We get to stay in Oklahoma and be part of that still. So for me, that is something that I've always looked at, and I've taken great pride in being in Oklahoman. And to be able to have a team that is competing for a championship or competing in general for the playoffs, it's pretty impactful to have a um, I don't know, Oklahoma City Thunder prestige there. Like you're looking
Mm-hmm.
back and it brings you back to the city. Like you're talking about such an incredible impact and just the prestige and the idea that this team could be something great. And I think that's where I'm getting excited about is that like there's this anticipation right now that this team is going to do something special. And Mark and I have been talking about it a lot. Like, we truly believe that there's something special happening. The community is believing in it, right? And the future developmental aspect of the stadium, and then you're going to have the impact of development around the stadium, and then all of a sudden you're talking about multi billions of dollars in revenue just from that to Oklahoma City. So when you're looking at it like that, like, I know it seems like a $850 million cough syrup chugathon, but the reality is that you can't look at this and say anything other than, if Oklahoma City Thunder have the chance to stay in Oklahoma City, you have to take it. You have to do it, because in the long run, it's going to far precede losing a team like Oklahoma City. Your city would go into complete turmoil and crumble, and you can't have that right then. Like, you need the stability of Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, dude. I mean, where would we be? Where would Oklahoma City be without the Thunder? Where would the like? Think about it like this: when the Thunder are good,
Yeah,
every night we're on ESPN.
I know. I
Every
know.
night, the national
It's
media is
packed.
talking about us.
Not just
The
packed in the
arena's packed.
stadium, it's packed at every single restaurant
So
around the stadium.
let's talk about the guts it takes for Mayor Holt to step up and say, in the middle of a rebuild or right at the tail end of a
Mm.
rebuild, I'm going to implement these plans.
Why is he doing this though? Why does it December?
Make it happen, baby.
But what think about this, man. If Oklahoma City Thunder come out and they're another rebuild year, people think they're in rebuild year. Do you think we can get the people of Oklahoma City to give a shit about $850 million? Yeah, they're going to care. But if this team is young and this team is winning a lot of games by December, and Mayor Holt knows that, he bet on this team, and he can get them to win a bunch of games before December, that impact is going to be a wave, because it's going to be like, we could watch this team for the next 10 to 15 years compete in the championship, compete for a championship. Like that impact right there in the city. If you have 15 straight years of being able to get deep runs in the playoffs, the second round at least in the playoffs for 15 straight years, you're talking about billions of dollars for a city. Just in that. It's
You thi-
insane, man.
so we've been talking a lot about Sam Presti's angle on this team and him building it. I mean, do you think that this team is set up? I mean, we've talked about it
Mm.
enough. I already know what you think, but like 13, 15 years, deep runs. I mean, with all the picks we have, the talent we can keep getting, I don't see why that we can't keep that going.
There's no way we can't keep that going. Like, if you look at the talent that we have now, when we trade some of this talent and we upgrade, well, I say upgrade, but we trade some of this talent that we have, it's inevitable. Like, we're going to have some of these guys are getting young, older, that are going to be worth 2 first round draft picks, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. And it's going to be like, listen, we don't want to have to pay them 200 and, 350 million, $400 million over the next, 6 years. We don't want 5 years. We don't want to have to do that. And that's the type of contracts we're talking about in the future. So as more money gets put into this, I mean, we're going to see those contracts are flying up. So, eventually the Oklahoma City Thunder will look at it and be like, we're not going to pay this much money to this player, right? We're not going to pay this much money to this player, and that's cool, right? That's not a problem. But again, but where does that leave Oklahoma City? It leaves them in always a semi-rebuild mode, because if they can always get 3, 4, 5 draft picks for a player or for 2 players, right? It puts them at the very back. So let's just say Sam Presti, over the next 3 years, he doesn't get a single trade where he adds a first round draft pick. Okay. Or let's just say he keeps 1 draft pick a year and he takes every first round draft pick he has and trades it and keeps on building off the back of that time. So 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, right? And he continues to take that, because I think that would be one of his great moves right there. And then any other trades that he gets, right? He looks at his contract years and he says, I need 5 draft picks the year before for this. I need 4 draft picks for the year for this. You could be talking about a situation for 20 years. Sam Presti has his team in the playoffs, and maybe one time in that 20 years, they don't make it. And could be 2 or 3 different teams.
I mean, that's how I see it. I see it as there being some serious turnover on the number of teams and what's going on.
What's up, Blake? Chris,
What's up,
Jared,
Unk?
Unk? Man,
Guys,
sorry,
what's going
guys.
on?
We've been talking, forgot to talk to you guys.
Forgot to look at the chat. My bad. I feel like a piece
We're
of shit.
good.
Chris, what's good, man? Devil's advocate. Don't speed up too much. Benchmark it with mid-market franchise. Folks don't even bonuses like Tech Wizards in San Jose. Upgrade for sure. I love it, Chris.
That's it, man. Like, I think this is where the city needs. I think you look at the fact that this is a globalized team. We talked about it last episode, guys. It's for real. Like, this is why in Oklahoma City should absolutely 100% do this. Is because if they do this, right? Every missionary, they love to go on sabbaticals. They love to go on and take their time going to this beautiful monastery or wherever, right? Like, that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. That's the end of the rainbow. People are going to want to be like, hey, listen, I'm going to the United States, but first thing and first stop I want to go see Shea play. I want to see Dort play. I want to see Poku play. I want to see, the list goes on, Mishchich. I want to see, dude, I'm telling you, Josh Giddey is going to be one of the biggest reasons people end up going to Oklahoma City from Australia. And that is what gets me excited, is because it is going to become the epic center. And I love where it's going, and it's got to continue. It's got to keep going, because when push comes to shove, there's no other way to attract people to Oklahoma City, guys. I'm sorry. You got to have a team like Oklahoma City, because you're not going to go back to the triple A and the minor league hockey. And it just, no. Got to keep Oklahoma City happy with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Shout out to the mayor. You're invited on our show anytime. I'd
David
like to
Hope.
give you a big wet hug and a sloppy kiss.
And we might do some more, but we'll keep that under the table. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Join us,
See you
Mayor
guys
Holt.
tomorrow.
Take care of your needs.